Alright, so listen, okay? I know it's been a hot minute since I posted on this series, but I'm getting back to it. And isn't that all that really matters if you think about it? But anyway, if this is the first video of this series that you're seeing, no, I have a whole playlist of this. Basically, to kind of give an explanation to anyone who's just seen this for the first time and haven't seen the other videos that I posted, the goal of this is to basically play through every single cup, all the normal ones, including all the DLC ones, in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and to get first place in every single race in every single cup is basically the goal that I'm going for here. And this was, supposed to be done by the time Mario Kart, World was coming out, but I may or may not have gotten busy, gone on a hiatus, done a lot of stuff in the meantime, and then kind of did not get back to finishing this, but I'm here to finish this now. So I am going to complete every cup. I swear I'll actually get through all of them. Promise. But I'm also thinking of maybe also doing this with Mario Kart World at this point too, since, that's also come out. But before I start on that, I will definitely complete this project. But anyway, we're on the Leaf Cup now, and so far I've done the Mushroom, Shell, Star, and Flower Cup. And one more that, honestly, I think it was Banana Cup, if I'm remembering my cups right. Can you tell it's been a little bit? I can't remember necessarily all of them. I'm pretty sure it's Banana is the one I was thinking of. Basically, we've done 5 cups so far, and this is the 6th one. This is Leaf Cup, so. But either way, I'm finally glad to get back to doing this. And, hey, an excuse to play Mario Kart anytime is perfectly fine with me. But since World has come out, I am kind of interested to hear your guys' opinion on it, especially now, because when I'm recording this, and probably when you'll see it, is going to be like end of April of 2026, and so I feel like in terms of World, there's not a lot of people that are really talking about it anymore, because I remember playing it when it first came out, and I thought, I thought it was fun, and I really liked the Knockout Tour mode. But gonna be honest, I have not really gone back and played it, or, thought about going back and playing it at all for a while now. But to be fair, I also just haven't played Mario Kart in a little bit, because I feel like the people that I typically play, like those types of party games like Mario Kart or Mario Party, those things, I haven't seen in a little bit at this point. So, but and I've been playing some other games that I've recorded some, and then some other ones I haven't fully recorded. Just made some clips of, but I'm yeah, I've kind of been doing other things recently, so. But I am interested to hear kind of the audience opinion on this, because I feel like there's not a lot of people still playing Mario Kart World out of except for kind of the more competitive scene. But I personally know I definitely haven't touched it in a while, but at the same time, it's one of those things that, especially, since like Bonanza came out, like, I was just like busy, with other projects that I was playing as soon as Bonanza came out, because I 100%ed Bonanza, which is also a series that I kind of started and like, didn't get back to editing, so maybe I'll work on doing that, since I literally have all of the footage already pre-recorded. I just didn't voice over it. But, one step at a time. We'll worry about that later. It's so frustrating for me personally, because I'm just like, I hate doing that when I start recording like a series and then I kind of forget or get busy or whatever, and I don't finish it. And I bet it's kind of also frustrating from an audience perspective, because it's like, half-finished projects. And I know from a viewer perspective, at least me, when I've watched other people play games, I like to have the full playlist there if they're not currently playing the game. So I try not to have incomplete projects, but I think honestly, if I were to go through how many incomplete projects I have, I could probably think of 3 off the top of my head that I still have not gotten around to doing. But, there's always time in the future. I think the hardest part is just doing voiceover content, because just the way that I have my stuff set up, it would be kind of a lot harder for me to like record commentary while playing a game on certain consoles, just because anything I don't play on my PC, it'd be hard to record something with, just because I don't have a mic system like in place for that. But it's like usually any games I play on my PC, it's pretty easy to record and play at the same time. But a lot of the console games that I have they don't fall into that category, and so I end up kind of having to do the voiceover method. And like, it's definitely not too bad or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that it's awful to do or anything like that. My main thing is just that in terms of just like an editing process, sometimes it just feels so like, I would say it's a lot easier to feel like unmotivated to do a voiceover and then record that for an episode, just because it's like, when you're playing a game, I feel like commentary comes a lot more naturally, and it's a lot easier to talk about stuff, especially if you're doing something with other people. But when you do like voiceover, at least for me, I'm like, sometimes it's just kind of like, what do I talk about besides maybe, discussing elements of the game and that kind of stuff. But I'm like, personally, it makes it a little harder, and then honestly, it's like the first thing to get dropped when I get like unmotivated to record and post stuff, is the stuff that requires, in my mind, the most effort and is some of the most difficult to record ends up getting dropped, honestly, the fastest. So I guess that's like my quote-unquote, air quotations, excuse for why I haven't finished some projects and that. So I know technically it's just an excuse and I can 100% go and do it, but that's at least, my mindset. So hopefully that at least gives a little insight. And I mean, I know no one's honestly, like, no one's pressuring me to even really finish those series, honestly. I got, like, honestly, zero pressure from people. You know, no one's yelling at me in the comments like, hey, why haven't you finished this or anything? So, honestly, I'm like, you know, it's me just kind of getting on myself about doing it, but it's, you know, just a personal thing. I don't like incomplete projects, so, and I feel like that's a pretty understandable sentiment. I feel like most people don't like incomplete projects in general, so, but I don't know, maybe I'll get around to it. Fortunately, right now, it's just, you know, now I've started so many new projects that I don't want. I might have to come back to that in the future and do it a bit slowly. Because, I mean, I at least have, I think, 2 or 3 active running, like, projects that I still have right now that I'm still editing episodes on kind of the daily, so. But anyway, that's enough of, you know, me just yapping about editing stuff. Something that I actually think is super interesting is about Yoshi Valley specifically, is I always go the same way, even though I think I think it's not technically the fastest way, but it's always my favorite way to go, personally. But I always thought it was super interesting when they originally had this stage on the N64. They did, like, the little gimmick where they would hide who's in what place, because, you know, the whole map is kind of designed to be just in a huge maze. And I always thought that was kind of a fun mechanic, even though if you were playing, like, multiplayer, like on split screen, it would be pretty easy to tell who's where, if I'm being honest. But still a really goofy, cool concept, but I feel like it'd be kind of hard to implement that in the newer Mario Karts, but I'm like, still, I thought it was a lot of fun, and I mean, that's one of those courses from the N64 Mario Kart that is definitely on the top of my list for some of my favorites from that game. But honestly, this cup personally didn't give me much trouble. I had a lot of fun with this one. Some of these, you know, take me multiple attempts, and I usually edit in my failed attempts, but this one actually was pretty straightforward. But anyway, that was Leaf Cup, and I promise I'll keep this series going, but for now, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!